We're in the heart of summer, and that only means one thing, San Diego Comic-Con, and today we're doing a special top 10 most wanted WWE Mattel figures that I hope to see at San Diego Comic-Con.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for a special edition Kyle Peterson Top 10. Usually at 1,000 thresholds of subscribers, we do a top 10, but we're doing a special one here in honor of San Diego Comic-Con 2024 as I'm filming this, as San Diego Comic-Con is just a couple weeks away, and that is usually the big event for not just Mattel and their WWE Elite lines, but we're talking Hasbro, NECA, Super 7, all the companies. They all go to San Diego. They show off their wares for the rest of 24 into 2025. And we will be there. When I say we, I mean me. I will be there on scene, on site at San Diego Comic-Con here in a couple of weeks. So look forward to a lot of stuff on the channel about San Diego Comic-Con around that time frame. But today I thought I'd do a special video for our top 10, top 5 videos. Like I said, this is going to be a special edition top 10. In today's video, we're going to count down the top 10 figures I personally want to see from WWE and Mattel. I hope these are shown in figure form, or at least renders, or maybe mentions. These are things that aren't totally wild, totally are not out there, that I hope we do see in some way or another at San Diego Comic-Con here in 2024. Now, I'm telling you right now, I'm not putting on the Von Erichs. I'm not putting on Demolition, Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, even Macho Man Randy Savage. Those are all layups. We all want to see those. Wouldn't you like to see Road Warrior Ultimates? Of course we would, but we know there's contracts, there's legalities, there's things like that that go on that is preventing those. However, I would put all those at the top of the list like everybody else would. These are more of a realistic list is what I'm looking for over here. Whether or not they happen, I don't know. But, of course, Von Erichs, Demolition, Road Warriors, Macho Man. Let's get those back in the fold. We'd all like that. But once again, the list that I'm going to count down here in this video is a little bit more realistic style list. So take that into mind with you when you're putting your list. And as usual, this is my list, so it's 100% right. Just like your list, 100% right, but put your list in the comments down below. What are you hoping to see at San Diego Comic-Con, either in figure reveals or renders or even announcements? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's kick it off at number 10. All right, time to kick off the countdown at number 10. And number 10, basically a layup. It's got to be at this point, and I think we will see this here. That's why I put it down here at number 10. But it is, of course, Midwest legend Tiffany Stratton. Coming out of Minnesota, of course. Tiffany all over the place. Just recently won Money in the Bank. We're going to get all kinds of championship showdowns, elites, basics, main events. Who knows? Maybe even ultimates before you know it. But got to imagine we will see a fully realized Tiffany Stratton figure at San Diego Comic-Con. And I think it is warranted. She's had quite the run over on NXT, onto SmackDown now, and winning the Money in the Bank last week as I'm filming this. So I think it is a very easy layup. I have to imagine we'll see it, and I'm looking forward to it. So coming in at number 10, in my most wanted, we're looking at Tiffany Stratton. All right, we're at the number 9 spot in the top 10 countdown. And number 9, I guess we're keeping it with the little ladies' night theme here. We're going back to the NXT brand where Tiffany Stratton was a part of at one time. We're going to one Nikita Lions. And Nikita stole the world's heart with a few different reasons, I guess you could say. Very popular performer. Unfortunately, injuries keeping her down. And that's why I wonder if we will see anything. I don't know. She was very, very hot for a short amount of time. Then, like I said, the injuries took place. Could we see a main event? Could we see an elite of her? Maybe with some nunchucks? Who knows what'll happen? But I have to imagine a lot of people would like to see a figure of hers, and it could get a new body mold into the system unless they do try to do a Jakks body. We'll see what ends up happening there. But I think a lot of people would be here for a Nikita Lions figure. We'll see what ends up happening. But it is a bit of a dark horse choice, but I'm putting it in at number 9. All right, time for the number 8 selection in the top 10 countdown. And number 8, I guess we really are feeling ladies' night, or I guess I'm feeling ladies' night. Who knows? But we're going back to NXT. We're going to Fallon Henley, and Fallon's been there quite some time. Good guy, a manager, bad guy now, of course, as we do know, but a stalwart of NXT over the last couple of years. I think she deserves a figure, and I could see her very easily slipping into a main event line. We'll see what ends up happening there, but I feel like she's warranted, and I have to imagine the next draft, if not before, we'll see her probably get called up to Raw or SmackDown. So Fallon Henley from NXT coming in at number 8. All right, here we are at number 7, getting closer and closer to the middle of the pack, I guess. But number 7, have to imagine with this guy returning to the company over the last year, there is the possibility of getting some figures, and there's a lot of different figures I would like to see. Who are we talking about? We're talking about William Regal, Steven Regal, whatever you want to call him. Let's get your lordship back in the toy line. We did, of course, get an elite many years ago of kind of the blue blood Steven Regal. But I think a William Regal figure would be great. A GM build a figure William Regal would be great. I would love to see a man's man. Talk about a deep cut there. And I mean, you could even see NXT Commissioner as a main event style figure. Who knows? But there's a lot of different incarnations of Steven William Regal, whatever way you want to go, that are a possibility, and I have to think with him being back under the WWE umbrella, has to at least be a little easier to get an action figure of him. We knew there was one on the docket for Jazzwares a while back, obviously not going to happen. Could we get one from the WWE? Like I said, there's a lot of different looks I would like to see, and I feel like this is a little bit of a layup. Hopefully we see it at San Diego. So number 7 for me, we're going to William Steven Regal. Next up in the countdown, number 6, and no countdown would be safe without an Ultimate Warrior figure, would it? Of course, me being a Warrior fan, I want a Warrior figure, and let's be honest, we've got a lot of Ultimate Warriors. Not quite to the Hulk Hogan level, but we've had a lot of Warriors over the last couple of years, and there's still a lot of Warrior meat on the bone that I would like to see. But I will say at number 6, there's 2 ones I would really like to see. Give me old school Blade Runners version. We are apparently getting that Sting from, of course, the Jazzwares side. I would love to see the Ultimate Warrior Blade Runners early rendition of the Ultimate Warrior. I would love to see that as a possibility from Mattel. I don't know. I'm a little bit in the middle on that one. I could maybe see that happening. I hope we see that happening for sure. And I guess off the top of my head, I'd like to see another deep cut one with Warrior with the baseball cap and the black face paint going on when Jerry Lawler broke that painting over his head. That'd be another fun one to see. But some deep cut Warriors, that's what I want to see. That's what's coming in at number 6. We've arrived at the halfway point, the number 5 selection. Do you got your list together? Put it in the comments down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every single Thursday, we got these countdown videos. But now we are at number 5, the halfway point. Talked about deep cut Warriors. Well, got to get the yin and yang. I'm looking for some deep cut Hulk Hogan's at number 5, and I get it. I hear you guys loud and clear. We're over the Hulkster. Too many Hulksters. Well, it's 40th anniversary. They've went this hard so far in 2024. Let's finish just as hard on the back half. Let's get all that Hulkster out of our system. Let's get it all out of the system and move on to somebody else in 2025. Have to imagine John Cena maybe could be 2025, 2026. All kinds of re-releases, greatest hits, new figures. I could see that coming. So let's get the Hulkster out of our system, and let's do it with a deep cut for the back half this year. Let's give us that Pirate Hulk Hogan. Our matey indeed. I like a deep cut. I love a deep cut. Maybe I'm thinking with my heart and not my brain on this. I get it. This wouldn't be for everybody, but it would be a very, very cool exclusive. And I could see somebody else out there, get me the Mr. Nanny, get me the Suburban Commando. Hey, I'm here for that kind of stuff as well. But I just love the looks of that Pirate Hulk Hogan. It was so goofy, and you could see how uncomfortable he was wearing that. I think it would just be hilarious in action figure form. I don't know if it's really a possibility or not, but man, it's on my list. And my list is right because it's my list, just like your list. But number 5 for me, I'm calling for it. I want the pirate ship, Hulk Hogan. The countdown marches on to the number 4 spot, and this one I gotta feel like with the whole bloodline sweeping the nation, sweeping the world, sweeping wrestling right now, this one maybe isn't as far of a possibility, especially with his sons now being in the WWE. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Ming / Haku, of course. Give us a King Haku. Give me the crazy Afro Ming. Give me the Islanders. There's a lot of different looks you can get out of this one. And like I said, we haven't got this in a long time. We haven't got a Haku Ming figure since the Classic Superstars days as far as this scale. Of course, we got Retro from Cello. We do remember that. But we're here for more Hakus and Mings, I have to imagine. Fits a lot of different buckets. All the way up to the Ruthless Aggression era. You can get WCW stuff, old school WWF. There's a lot of different looks that I would love to see, and I think a lot of you guys as well. And now with this kid's part of the bloodline, who knows? Maybe there's a possibility for him signing a Legends deal or something along those ways. So we'll see what ends up happening. But number 4, I'm going Haku, a.k.a. Ming. We're down to the final 3 in my most wanted San Diego Comic-Con WWE list. And number 3, when I did this similar video last year, this was also on my list. So we have not got it yet. This could be the year. This could see the rise of the U. Talking Chase U, of course, back over to NXT. I love Andre Chase. Get me Andre Chase. Get me Duke Hudson. Get me Thea Hale. That's a good start, I'd say, right there. But just yesterday, before I filmed this video, there's been rumors swirling Thea Hale will be getting a main event style figure. Hey, I'm here for that, but we should have got Andre Chase first. That's who we need. He is the cornerstone, the leader of course, Chase U. But I hope to see those 3, even if it's main event style. Even Andre Chase, he could easily be a main event style figure. You don't necessarily need an elite of him. A main event will just work just fine. I just would love to see a faction. I love factions in wrestling. Would love to see all of the members of Chase U represented in action figure form. And I think the time is now. And if the rumors of Thea Hale are true, who knows? Andre Chase could be the next set, then Duke Hudson. We'll see what ends up happening there. But getting closer and closer, keep my fingers crossed for a little Chase U action. And that's my request at number 3. Down to the final 2. Oh my gosh. And this is a bit of a deep cut. And this is one of my favorite wrestlers from the Monday Night Wars and ECW. I don't get to talk about this guy a whole lot as he doesn't really get action figures. It's been a long time since we've got a real deal action figure of him. I have to imagine it goes back to the Jakks TNA line. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Stevie Richards. To me, he'll always be dancing Stevie Richards, maybe superstar Stevie Richards, but a guy that was a part of the flock in WCW, all over the place in the ECW, even right to censor and regular Stevie Richards over in the WWF, WWE back in the day. A guy that had a pretty much a longer career than most people give him credit for, but personally would love to see Raven's Flock, would love to see ECW, BWO version. If they could remake that Best of Ruthless Aggression, ECW, Stevie Richards, in an elite line, oh my gosh, sign me up all day long. But Stevie, I'm a long time fan of Stevie Richards, and I feel he's very underrepresented in the action figure department, and now is the time. Now's the time. We got the best of the Monday Night Wars. We got all that kind of going on. We get some ECW guys like Sammy on the line. It's time for dancing Stevie Richards. I hope that happens. Heck, we know it. We want all those guys. We want guys like Raven, too. I'm here for all of them. But, man, Stevie Richards is right up there at the top of my list. So far, in fact, he comes in at number 2, which means there can only be one. Who is it going to be? Stay tuned. All right, we're at the number 1 spot. My most wanted San Diego Comic-Con figure or figures for 2024. Once again, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. And I said at the beginning, yes, Macho Man's not on here. The Von Erichs, Demolition, Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. Yes, there's a lot of those characters that would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the list. This is more of a realistic list, knowing kind of what we know, if we know anything at this point. But we know those guys. We know Mattel wants to make them. We know we want them to make them. It's just all the legalities for whatever reason, and it sounds like they're not. But I would love to see a surprise that, you know, Steve Ozier and Bill get up there and say it's the return of the Macho Man in 2025, and we're starting it off fast in November with the Macho Man Ultimate Edition coming out. I mean, we would all love to see something like that. We'd all love a Von Erichs. I just don't know if it is possible at this point. So knowing what we know, this is going more into the roster, more of kind of stuff we know is where this list has went. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this list. And once again, put your list in the comments down below. But number 1 for me, I believe, I didn't go back and watch the video, but I think this was number 1 last year for me. Have to imagine this will be the year. I have to imagine we will see a render finally here, especially since they have been called up to the Raw brand. It looks like they might be partnering with Chad Gable very soon. Who are we talking about? It's in a lot of ways what feels like the modern day Steiner brothers. It is the Creed brothers. Of course, the Creeds had a heck of a run in NXT, an amazing performance so far on Raw. I really do have high hopes for this group and this tag team in the future. Will they ever be the Steiner brothers? No, but they got a lot of feeling and a lot of looks like a modern day Steiner brothers in a lot of ways. So really anxious to see where their career goes at the end of things. I was wanting a figure last year when they were in NXT. Now they're on Raw. I would love to see a figure, and I have to imagine if they're going to link up with Chad Gable, we'll definitely get figures sometime. Just not sure if we'll see them at San Diego Comic-Con, but if I was a betting man, I'd say we'd at least see some renders here. So the Creed brothers, a deep cut maybe for some, but not for me. One I've been champion for a long time, along with Chase U. Would love to see those ones this year. We'll see what ends up happening there. And that is my list. I have to imagine we'll see some of these and a whole lot of stuff that weren't on this list, and even a couple of surprises along the way. So San Diego Comic-Con, always a wild ride from all the companies, but we always enjoy the Mattel ones as well, especially if you're watching this channel. So there it is. That's my most wanted 2024 San Diego Comic-Con list. Once again, put your list in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support the channel. You get all the videos early from both of my YouTube channels. You get bonus content, exclusive content, lots of stuff on Patreon every single day. Check it out. Support the channel. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X. The _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for another top 10 list, I'm Kyle, and I'll see you in San Diego.